Libra darling, this might be the most important message you've heard all year. Because what I'm about to share with you right here, right now could be the reason you wake up tomorrow as a millionaire. This isn't clickbait. This is alignment. Divine timing. And tonight, if you listen with your heart wide open, I'll reveal 3 cosmic secrets designed only for you, Libra. Not for Aries. Not for Taurus. For you. These 3 steps are more than rituals, they are ancient energetic codes, and if you follow them precisely, they could unlock the kind of financial breakthrough you've prayed for. Welcome to Zodiac Whisper Tarot. You didn't find this video by accident. The universe placed it in front of you because your energy finally matches the frequency of wealth. You're ready. And you're not alone anymore. I know, Libra. You've spent so much of your life creating balance for everyone else. You've given, adjusted, compromised, and waited your turn. You've loved deeply, quietly wished, and smiled through disappointment. But now, the scales are shifting. The flow is changing. And it's time for life to start pouring back into you. Take a breath with me. If your chest feels tight, your hands slightly warm, or a tear has already begun forming behind your eyes, that's not coincidence. That's energy moving. That's the whisper of your destiny unfolding. So stay with me. Because this video isn't just another horoscope. It's a divine activation. And I'll walk you through every step with clarity, love, and spiritual precision. But before we begin, let me take a sacred moment to say this. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here right now. For every like, every comment, and every subscription, you are not only supporting this channel, you are anchoring your own transformation. This isn't a one-way conversation. You are co-creating this journey with me, and with the universe itself. I want to ask you to do something very intentional right now. If you feel even slightly that this message has reached you at the perfect time, comment below with this affirmation: I am Libra, and I'm ready to receive divine abundance tonight. Writing it isn't just a gesture, it's a ritual. It's the first signal to the universe that you're no longer hesitating. No longer hiding. No longer second-guessing your worth. And trust me, you'll want to stay until the very last moment of this video. Because what's coming next will help you unlock the one night that changes everything. Wealth. Peace. Power. And the kind of golden luck that Libra hasn't seen in years. So again, breathe. Open your spirit. And get ready. Let's begin the journey into the 3 secrets that could turn this night into the miracle you've been waiting for. There's something uniquely powerful about the moment you decide to stop waiting. Not because the world has suddenly become more generous, but because you've finally remembered that you were never meant to beg for what was already yours. For Libra, this is especially important. You weren't born to hustle your way to abundance. You were born with an inner magnetism, a frequency of grace, refinement, and quiet influence that naturally attracts what aligns with your heart. Yet for so long, you've redirected that magnetic field outward. You've given your best to others, keeping the peace, smoothing the tension, holding the balance. In doing so, you've unknowingly tucked away your own birthright to receive. The first secret you're being shown tonight is not just about holding a coin or speaking an affirmation. It's about recalibrating your relationship with worthiness. That small coin in your hand? It's not about the money itself. It's a symbol, a reminder that energy flows where intention goes. When you clasp it between your palms and speak the words, "I am Libra, and I am ready to receive the abundance the universe is sending me," you are not requesting a favor. You are activating a law. The law of reception. There's a powerful truth that often gets buried beneath the noise of our busy, overscheduled lives. What we refuse to claim, we silently reject. And Libra, this ritual is your gentle way of saying, "I am no longer rejecting myself." You're not waiting for someone to give you permission. You're not auditioning for worthiness. You are acknowledging that your energy is enough. That you exactly as you are, in this moment are a fertile field ready to receive the harvest. Think of the coin as a seed. Not a metaphorical one, but an energetic imprint of prosperity. When placed between your palms, it becomes a point of focus. Your breath becomes water. Your belief becomes sunlight. And your willingness to say yes to abundance becomes the soil that nurtures its growth. You don't need to know how it will come. That's not your job. The how belongs to the natural intelligence of life, what some call God, Source, or simply the grace that moves unseen through our days. Your job is to stay open, centered, and ready. And here's something you need to hear, perhaps more than anything else tonight: you haven't missed your chance. It's not too late. You're not behind. The fact that you're hearing this now means the seed is ready, and so are you. In a world that rewards urgency, this moment asks for presence. While others scramble and chase, you are invited to slow down, to come back to yourself, and to plant with intention. If you've ever felt invisible in your efforts, overlooked in your loyalty, or exhausted by giving without receiving, let this be the shift. No more waiting for a better day. No more hoping someone else will see your value first. This is your better day. And your value? It's not negotiable. It's inherent. This practice, this quiet ritual, is your way of remembering. Not hoping. Not wishing. Remembering. So hold the coin. Say the words. Breathe deeply. And if doubt creeps in, meet it with gentleness, not force. This isn't about overpowering fear. It's about nurturing faith. That's how things grow in your world, Libra, not with noise, but with grace. And as you sit in this moment, wrapped in your own energy, know this: you are enough. You are ready. And yes, what's meant for you is already on its way. Just open your hands. Sometimes, the most powerful movements begin in stillness. And that is exactly why midnight holds such a sacred pull for those who are ready to release and receive. Not because the world is asleep, but because at that very hour, the veil of noise and distraction thins. The energy that surrounds us softens, and for a brief window, we are more clearly aligned with the current of life that always wants to flow toward us. Libra, this is the hour that belongs to you, not because it demands urgency, but because it honors grace. The ritual you are invited into at midnight is not complex, but it is deeply intentional. You're not being asked to perform magic. You're being asked to participate in alignment. The moment you step onto the balcony or open your window, coin in hand, you are doing more than following a tradition. You are stepping into a symbolic gesture of trust, something Libra understands at a soul level. The balance you've always sought in relationships, in work, in yourself, now shifts to the realm of receiving. This is your time to let the universe meet you halfway. When you speak the words, "I am Libra, and I choose for wealth to come to me with ease and grace," you are not speaking to the sky. You are speaking to the part of yourself that remembers you are worthy of flow, not force. You are activating a deeper knowing, the same knowing that has been buried beneath people-pleasing, perfectionism, and the polished calm you've learned to wear so well. You've given the world your best intentions. This ritual is about giving that same love and intention back to yourself. And then there is the release. The toss of the coin. It sounds simple, maybe even silly to some, but it is anything but. That moment of throwing the coin, and more importantly, refusing to look back, is where everything changes. Because it requires surrender. Not the kind of surrender where you give up, but the kind where you finally step back and allow your energy to work on your behalf. You've done the inner work. Now, you let the outer world rearrange itself to match your readiness. There is a quiet kind of strength in not needing to see where the coin lands. In not needing proof. In not grasping for signs. That is where your elegance shines, Libra. Not in control, but in trust. And yes, that trust might feel fragile. You might feel the urge to check if it worked. But I promise you, the more you release the need to monitor the miracle, the more powerfully that miracle will show up. In real life, we don't always get instant confirmation that our decisions are right. Sometimes, we don't get applause for our efforts. We just have to keep walking forward, believing that something is already being put into motion behind the scenes. Just like the woman who chose to give generously even when she had little, and found herself unexpectedly gifted the exact amount she had been praying for just days later. Or the father who remained faithful in quiet, unseen ways and was met with healing for his family in ways he could have never planned. These stories don't need to be dramatic to be divine. What they have in common is trust. Quiet trust. So tonight, let this act be your quiet trust. Not because you've figured everything out, but because you're willing to believe that something better is coming. Even if you can't see it yet. Especially if you can't see it yet. You don't need to prove your readiness to anyone. The act of showing up for this ritual is your declaration. And if your hands shake a little, or your mind questions whether this matters, be gentle with yourself. You're not here to be perfect. You're here to be present. The seed has already been planted in your energy field. This ritual is your way of watering it. And as you turn away from where the coin fell, and walk back inside, know that something has shifted. Not out there but in you. And because of that, everything else will follow. Quietly, gently, and right on time. What often feels like a whisper at the edge of your awareness is sometimes the most powerful truth waiting to be spoken aloud. And for Libra, a sign so deeply connected to balance, beauty, and harmony, there comes a moment when the internal desire for abundance and the external expectation of humility must finally meet in alignment. You've been taught, perhaps silently or through life's subtle cues, that wanting more could seem greedy, or that asking for financial ease might somehow compromise your character. But the truth is far more compassionate. Wealth, when rooted in alignment, does not diminish your virtue, it reflects it. This final step, this sacred phrase spoken just before sleep, is more than affirmation. It's an energetic reprogramming, a rewiring of your inner architecture. When you say, I, Libra, attract wealth quickly, easily, and in harmony with my soul, you are not just declaring a wish, you are setting a new frequency. One that overrides years of subtle self-doubt and deferred dreams. One that tells your subconscious it is safe now not just to desire, but to receive. Not because you've earned it through struggle, but because you're aligned with it through truth. Venus, your ruling planet, is the celestial embodiment of luxury with integrity, of pleasure with purpose. It doesn't apologize for radiance, nor does it shrink from refinement. It invites us all, especially you, to remember that living richly, whether in relationships, finances, or creative expression, is not indulgence. It's resonance. The universe does not withhold prosperity, it responds to clarity. And clarity begins with the courage to speak your vision aloud. Repeating the phrase 7 times is not arbitrary. 7 is a frequency of completion, a rhythm that matches the divine cycle of unfolding. In astrology, the number 7 often corresponds to the final integration of a lesson before elevation. In practical life, 7 is the pause that prepares you for breakthrough. And in spiritual numerology, it is the number of sacred order, the bridge between effort and ease. When you speak those words 7 times, just before you surrender to sleep, you allow them to see themselves in your subconscious. And that, Libra, is where the true shift begins. This nightly ritual is not about forcing results. It's about deepening trust. You don't have to monitor your progress or anxiously watch for signs. Think of this process like placing a letter in the mailbox. You wouldn't open it back up to check if it's being delivered, you trust the system. Similarly, you are placing your intention into the divine system of response, and your role is to hold belief steady long enough for the return to reach you. In the same way that a single prayer whispered from a hospital bed can move the heart of a doctor, or a quiet act of kindness can ripple through generations, your spoken words, when repeated with sincerity, carry more power than you can measure. There's a kind of miracle that occurs when we stop waiting for external permission and begin authorizing ourselves. And this final key, this wealth mantra, is exactly that. A form of self-authority. Not arrogance. Not entitlement. But peaceful command of your own energy. If you've ever struggled with believing that abundance and authenticity could exist in the same space, I'm here to tell you they absolutely can. The most generous souls are often the most deserving of financial flow. And when money finds its way to someone whose heart is pure and purpose is clear, the ripple effect blesses everyone in its path. So tonight, as you close your eyes and feel the rhythm of those words move through your body, remember this: you are not chasing wealth. You are aligning with it. You are not begging for blessings. You are calling them home. And they will come, Libra, not because you forced them, but because you finally allowed them. Speak the words, not as a command to the universe, but as a confirmation to yourself. You are ready. You are worthy. And the shift has already begun. Some moments ask you to believe without seeing, and others invite you to act as though the outcome is already on its way. This practice, the merging of the 3 sacred steps into one fluid ritualis, that invitation. It isn't about complexity or dramatic change. It's about subtle shifts in energy, intention, and the gentle, quiet power of alignment. When Libra moves with balance, the entire universe listens. And when you take 3 intentional actions in one night, you aren't chasing magicianry, simply remembering that you've always had access to it. Holding the coin at the beginning is more than a symbolic gesture. It's a grounding act, one that calls your awareness back into your body, into your heart, into the space where true transformation begins. When you whisper your declaration and place that coin beneath your pillow, you are anchoring the energy of intention into your rest, into your dreams, into the subconscious realms where creation quietly takes root. You're telling your system, I am open now. I am ready. And then, as the midnight hour approaches, the second act arrives not as something to be feared or performed with pressure, but as a sacred handoff. A release. Stepping outside or opening a window may seem small, but energetically, you are opening a gateway. When you lift that coin and say, I, Libra, choose wealth to come to me with ease and grace, you're doing more than speaking words. You're shifting the atmosphere around you. And when you toss that coin and refuse to look back, you engage in one of the most overlooked yet powerful forms of energetic maturity, surrender. The kind that doesn't need reassurance to move forward. The final step, repeated just before sleep, speaks directly to the heart of your subconscious. 7 repetitions, not because it's a rule, but because it's a rhythmic cadence that mirrors the structure of trust. You are not programming yourself with pressure. You are affirming a truth that's already lived inside you. You are giving permission to your future to become your present, by aligning your words, your energy, and your body with the same frequency. Each of these steps alone has power. Together, they form a trinity of resonance. A nightly sequence that calls wealth to you not just as currency, but as freedom, as space, as peace. Money, after all, is only one part of abundance. The deeper gift is the version of you who finally feels safe to receive it. I often remind clients that it's not about how big your action looks, but how clear your alignment is. And when you combine grounding, the coin, releasing, the midnight ritual, and reprogramming, the mantra, you are literally syncing yourself with one of the most potent cycles of energy available, the bridge between intention and manifestation. One Libra I worked with did these 3 steps not with expectation, but with openness. She wasn't trying to control the result. She simply leaned in with faith. The next morning, an email arrived offering her a full scholarship and additional funding, something she had quietly hoped for but had nearly given up on. She didn't chase it. She aligned with it. That's the difference. You see, real breakthroughs rarely come in the form we expect. They arrive through alignment, not anxiety. And when you choose to walk through this 3-part practice, you are stepping into a higher octave of your own power, not the loud kind, but the steady, rooted kind that Libra knows best. So tonight, wear colors that speak abundance into your field. Green for growth. Gold for wealth. Let scents support you, peppermint or soft frankincense to clear your channels and tune you to a higher frequency. Prepare your space with intention, but don't overcomplicate the process. Simplicity is sacred. And as you drift into sleep after all 3 steps, know this, you've already shifted something. You may not see it yet. It may arrive in ways you couldn't predict. But your energy is no longer the same. And because of that, neither is your future. Something has moved. Something has begun. Let it come. Let it unfold. Let it be easier than you thought it could be. You've done your part. Now receive. And now, Libra, here we are. You've come this far with an open heart, a willing spirit, and a quiet knowing that tonight holds something sacred for you. You didn't just watch this video, you participated in something more. You stepped into a space where possibility is alive, and where energy, not circumstance, gets to shape your future. That alone says something about the kind of person you are. Maybe you've always been the one who believed in others more than they believed in themselves. The one who held space, kept peace, gave without asking. And perhaps that's why this message was reserved especially for you. Because it's time for the scales to return to balance, not by force, but by flow. This is your moment to receive what you've poured into others tenfold. This is your invitation to rise, not louder, but fuller. Not rushed, but ready. So ask yourself gently, what are you truly willing to allow into your life now? Are you ready to stop negotiating your worth? Are you open to the idea that abundance can come to you without the strain you once believed was required? That you don't have to prove yourself to be chosen for something bigger? You've been shown the 3 steps. You've held the coin, you've released it, and now you've spoken the code. But the real power lies not just in the doing, it lies in what happens after. In the quiet space of believing without grasping. In letting go of the how and leaning fully into the yes. And maybe you're still wondering, can something this simple truly change my life? That's a beautiful question, and the answer is even more beautiful, yes, but only if you choose to let it. Only if you meet the ritual with sincerity, not pressure. Intention, not perfection. So tonight, when the world gets quiet and your head touches the pillow, I want you to remember this: your voice matters. Your energy matters. And your desires are not random. They are divine hints of what is possible when you align, not just with the stars, but with your truth. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about finally honoring who you've always been. Now, if this message stirred something within you, I invite you to respond. Not to me, but to the energy that's already in motion. Leave a comment below to seal your intention. Write the words that feel true. Declare your readiness. Something as simple as, I am Libra, and I claim the life meant for me. Or, I am ready to receive all that is already mine. And if you feel that little flutter in your chest as you write it, that's your soul saying yes. And if this video served you, if you felt seen, supported, or reminded of your own power, let the universe know. Like this video not just as a gesture of support, but as a signal, I am here. I am willing. I am aligned. Subscribe to Zodiac Whisper Tarot and join the circle of souls who are reclaiming their light through guidance, clarity, and community. This space was created for you, and I am so honored to walk this path beside you. Let me take a moment, truly, to say thank you. Your presence here is not taken lightly. Every time you comment, every time you share your energy, you amplify this message and help it reach the next person who needs it most. And in doing so, you become part of a ripple effect that is much larger than you know. So now, beloved Libra, I leave you with this: the door is open. The energy is waiting. And you are more than ready. Will you step through? I believe you will. And I'll be right here whispering alongside the stars, watching you rise.